Thanks for taking a moment to check out this video. My name is Al Siebel. I'm a therapist here in the Eugene, Springfield, Oregon community. I'm also a member of the Motivational Interviewing Network of Trainers, otherwise known as MENT. I just wanted to take a couple minutes, and I was just sitting here thinking I'm going to record a video just talking a little bit about motivational interviewing. You know, when I get the privilege, and I really look at it as a privilege to do an MI training with people, one of the things that comes up for me a lot is just the power of the power. There's an error right there. Okay, the power of reflective listening, and I want to talk about that a minute. I've been on this MI journey. It's been about 9 years. Okay, I heard about MI back in the it was actually back in the early 2000s, and really didn't pay it no mind. And then heard some things about it some more. And then when I was fortunate that I went to a training in Ohio, it was in Columbus, Ohio, and I really started to learn about MI. Then I came to Oregon and had the privilege of working at the University of Oregon, and I was able to, the supervision team there supported me becoming a motivational interviewing trainer, and also becoming a member of MENT. And MI just really started to really resonate with me more the more I practiced it. And one of the things that I really see a lot of power in, and I say this, we talk about the MI spirit. This, Steve Roenick describes it as an attitude. The MI spirit as being like an attitude, but we talk about this MI spirit, this collaborative partnership, meeting somebody where they are, and being collaborative, evoking their own, desire for change. One of those things that really we talk about some in training is listening, and the power of listening, but the power of reflective listening. And what I have noticed, when I set an intention, when I go into a session with somebody that I'm working with in a therapy session, and I set the intention to really practice collaboration and partnership, and ways to do that is through OARs and open-ended questions, affirmation, reflections, and summaries. And then sometimes I'll add on that plus I, information giving with permission. And I got that from Steve Berg-Smith out of San Francisco, another motivational interviewing trainer. When you add the plus I to it, information giving with permission, I think it's very powerful. But reflective listening is what I wanted to talk just for a brief moment about. When I sit back, and when I first started really practicing reflections, it was really hard. I had a tough time grasping it. I had a tough time when I learned it. I remember I was at a training, and like this one participant was just they got it, and they were going around asking people to practice with them, and so it took me a minute to grasp how powerful that was for a listening tool, reflective listening. What I've come to discover, especially over the past 5 years, is just when I sit back and I take a breath, and somebody is speaking, and I make intention to listen in an empathetic way, which has taken a lot of practice and continues to take a lot of practice, to be empathetic with my listening skills. And when I'm listening to somebody, and I offer these reflections back, whether it be just a simple reflection like, just letting them know that they're heard, maybe, paraphrasing something really briefly back to them, or I go into the complexity and I dig a little deeper and I take a guess on the feeling. I'm always amazed, just how powerful that is, and how much it can really, connect me to a person, and how much it really, lets this other person know that they're being heard. That there's understanding, and that there's compassion there. So what I encourage you to do if you're watching this video is make an intention, maybe, if this works for you. Okay, this is just a suggestion. If it works for you to set an intention, and the next time you're having a meeting with whoever it is you're working with, okay, whether it be in a healthcare setting, a therapeutic setting, an educational setting, and sit back and maybe look at the OARs, the open-ended questions, affirmation, reflections, summaries, plus I, information given with permission. Take a look at OARs and say, I'm going to make an intention to. Maybe what I'm going to do is I'm going to offer 3 reflections to every open-ended question I do. I'm going to practice some motivational interviewing. I'm going to come at this person. I'm going to meet them where they are, and I say come at this person very lightly, all right, very lightly. I'm not saying, we go right in. I'm just saying we're meeting them where they are, and we're having a conversation that's collaborative, okay? and we're talking about that person's own desire for change, not my agenda, okay, not what I think they should be doing, but I'm going to set intention to practice reflective listening. And just watch, okay, because it's hard. Like I was saying earlier, sometimes when we start to practice it, it feels a little clunky, is what I like to describe it as. And yet when we start to practice it more, and when we get somebody that might be, that might be in this, just full of some discord, and we're able to reflect that back, a lot of times it just takes away the argument, because we're setting an intention. So that's what I encourage you to do, and just maybe just I'm going to set some attention to practice, of course practice MI, but I'm going to really focus on reflective listening just to see what happens, just to see what takes place. One thing I'm going to add before I wrap up is and I'm sure that I heard this somewhere along the lines from another motivational interview and trainer, but there's pieces of the MI pie. And when I'm doing an intro course, a lot of times I'll talk about the pieces of the intro pie, because a lot of times somebody will say, what about this client that's so difficult? And I'll say, is there any piece of this pie that you can take? And it might not work for you, I don't know, but take a piece of this MI pie and bring it into the next conversation you have with this person and practice it and see how it goes. Set the intention. And a lot of times people will come back to me after doing that and they will say, I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe how this helped me with this person that I'm working with, that I've maybe had a difficult time engaging with. It made all the difference. But continue to practice, set the intention, and practice. It's amazing what can happen. So I just encourage you to check out reflective listening. You can find videos online about it, but it's one of the parts of motivational interviewing that I find just very, very powerful, and it brings in, it just brings in so much of the spirit, I think, when we have that intention and we have that attitude that we're going to meet this person where they are and collaborate with them. So anyway, that's enough from me. My name, like I said, is Al Siebel, and please check out my website. You can find me at alansiebellpc.com. I have information on my motivational interviewing trainings coming up. I'm also, there's information on there about the consult group that I'm starting, and if you're watching this video later date, it probably has started. It's going to be the third Wednesday of every month. There's a couple months where I have to put it on the fourth Wednesday, but most of the time it's going to be the third Wednesday of every month. It's a free consult group. If you'd like a link to that, a Zoom link to that consult group, feel free to email me. My email is on the website as well. There's also a place to sign up for emails from me. I'm starting a monthly blog around motivational interviewing. It'll be an email I send out and just have some thoughts about MI on there as well. So anyway, thanks so much for taking time to check out this video. And if you need anything, feel free to reach out there on the website, and I look forward to hearing from you. I hope you have a good rest of your day. Thanks so much.